Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Olivia Calfee.
An Eastern Kentucky mother is still looking for answers more than 2 decades after her son was killed in an apparent hit and run.
Moorhead police say Gary Lee Adkins Jr. was hit 22 years ago while walking on West Main Street in Moorhead. Mariah Conchito sat down with his mother, who says she fears she'll never have those answers.
Gary's mother, Teresa Colson, tells me as far as she knows, he didn't have any enemies. She says he was a happy-go-lucky guy who was always trying to brighten people's days. She says it's hard to fathom that 22 years have gone by and nobody has come forward with information about his death.
You're not supposed to bury your son. You're not supposed to bury your children.
In her home in Sadieville, Teresa Colson lays out pictures of her son, Gary Lee Adkins Jr., on the kitchen table.
The day he married Sarah, June the 19th of 99.
Colson says Gary's wife at the time says that on May 1st, 2001, Gary got up and went for a walk. That was around 6 a.m. Colson says soon after, a woman driving along West Main Street saw him lying on the steps of a church, seriously hurt, and called 911.
His right shoulder was broke, his left hip was broke, but the back of his skull, was crushed.
Moorhead police say he was hit and killed by an unknown vehicle. However, Colson says she's not sure if this is what truly happened to her son.
Was he beaten with a baseball bat? And how was he found on the church steps? That part I don't understand.
Colson also says Gary's shirt, shoes, and hat were found on the side of the church building.
Somebody knows something. They have to know something.
Gary, Colson says, was always looking to make people smile.
If he seen that you were down, he would cock his left lip up and look like Elvis and just make you bust out laughing.
And not long before his death, his son was born.
I would tell him I loved him and I miss him, and his brother misses him, his papa misses him, his son misses him, everybody misses him.
Just last week, Colson says Moorhead police called her to tell her they're putting out a new call for answers. She says she hopes this time might just be the time someone steps up.
I just wish that someone would tell me what happened to my baby.
The Moorhead Police Department is asking anyone with information about what happened to Gary Lee Adkins Jr. to give them a call. You can remain anonymous. We have the number to call on our website, WKYT.com.
Well, it's been a breezy one out there today. Still watching the cameras bounce up and down all throughout the region. There's the view from Buffalo Mountain in southern Perry County. Yeah, the camera is in motion as we've cooled a touch, 59 the current temperature. How about these wind gusts? 25, 30, upwards of 35 miles per hour in some spots out of the west. So we continue to see the cool air with us, upper 50s to near 60 out there right now. As we look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, a clean sweep for the most part. We've seen a couple of showers trying to move through parts of southern West Virginia and may clip parts of Buchanan County, Virginia over the next little bit. But otherwise, just watching a few clouds reappear in the forecast as we head through this evening. So your forecast first here at 5:30. We'll continue to see those breezy conditions. West-northwest winds sustained 5 to 10, gusting upwards of 20, with the potential for those temperatures to fall into the 40s as we start to clear out overnight. Guys, I'll have the very latest on the potential for more May-like temperatures in a few minutes.
Evan, thank you. Police in California are searching for a suspect after a third stabbing attack in less than a week. The latest happened yesterday at a transient camp near the University of California, Davis. Authorities say the suspect stabbed the victim multiple times through a tent. The woman is in critical condition at UC Davis Medical Center. The suspect was last seen running away. UC Davis is working with agencies from the Yolo and Sacramento areas to search for the suspect using drones and canines. Authorities say it is too early to tell if the 3 incidents are related.
Authorities in Memphis, Tennessee are on the scene following a situation outside of a local television station. A shot was fired at WHBQ this morning. The bullet fell outside of the front door of the lobby. Luckily, no one was hurt. University of Memphis officials say police were called to the scene around 11:30 this morning local time for an active shooter situation. Memphis police say the suspect was taken into custody after 1 p.m. local time.
A conservative former federal judge today joined the calls for Congress to pass ethical standards for Supreme Court justices.
The statement from Judge J. Michael Luttig came as a Senate committee debated ethics at the nation's highest court following new revelations about luxury travel and real estate deals. CBS's Skylar Henry reports.
This meeting of the Senate Judiciary Committee will come to order.
In a hearing Tuesday, Democratic senators called on Congress to impose a code of ethics on Supreme Court justices.
Ethics cannot simply be left to the discretion of the nation's highest court. The court should have a code of conduct with clear and enforceable rules.
A recent investigation by ProPublica found conservative Justice Clarence Thomas accepted more than 20 luxury trips from Republican mega donor Harlan Crow without reporting them on financial disclosure forms. Crow also purchased 3 properties belonging to Thomas and his family. Additional media reports, including Politico, found other conservative justices failed to disclose real estate deals and questionably large income from a spouse.
There's a very selective outrage here.
Republicans slammed the hearing, outlining possible ethics breaches by liberal justices whose travel was paid for by various universities.
It is about trying to delegitimize a conservative court.
But in a statement, retired federal judge J. Michael Luttig said if the Supreme Court does not subject itself to the highest possible professional and ethical standards, then Congress has the power under the Constitution to prescribe those standards.
Chief Justice John Roberts declined an invitation to testify. In a letter, he cited a need to preserve the separation of powers among the 3 branches of government.
The Senate is now considering 3 bills that would impose ethics on the court. They're not likely to pass in a divided Congress. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Last week, all 9 justices signed a letter insisting that existing rules around gifts, travel, and other financial disclosures are sufficient. Coming up on Mount